Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Berdel Warrior here. If you look here, it is raining. It's a beautiful day. It's raining. We need more rain. So let's get this. So here I am. Hope you guys having a fantastic day. I think it's better all the way back there. So if you look at my topic today, is talking about homeschooling is growing options that many Americans family have for today. And this is coming from Heritage Foundation, from Dan Lips and Evan Philbergs. Okay, so let's get started. So when you think about homeschooling, it says that the growing number of American families have chosen to homeschool their children. So if you think about all the issues that's happening right now within the education system, right? You have a lot of bullies, and then you have individuals that are shooting, going to the schools and shooting. So it's a lot of reasons why individuals or parents are going into homeschooling, okay? And so this is coming from the U.S. Department of Education National Center for Education, stating that 1.1 million children, and it also said 2.2% of the school-aged children were being educated, and this was home educated. This was starting from 2003. So it's a big movement. It's growing, and then we have about 29% more than the previous years, like talking about 1998. So it's a lot of people. And so then another estimate that projected that over 2 billion or more children may be homeschooling that they really don't have on the books, right? So some of the reasons are, like I talked about, the environment in the schools, right? Some parents are not satisfied with the school environment. Some people are not satisfied with the way the kids are being taught in school. So these are some of the other reasons. And then some people do it for religious reasons. Some people for other moral instructions. They want to be able to provide guidance to the child by sharing the love of Jesus, by doing Bible lessons, Bible curriculum. They want to do that. So that's another reason why a lot of people are homeschooling. And then it goes on to say that there is a movement that's taking place within the American system, okay? So the percentage of homeschool children will likely continue to grow. And of course, you can say that is true, right? That is true. Let me see. Hey, Moses. Hey, my friend. I hope you're having a great time, a great day today. Like I said before, it's raining here in Fresno, California right now. It's raining. So I don't know what it is like in your neighborhood, but I hope that you're keeping dry. Hope you're staying dry. So if we go back to the article, it's saying homeschooling in the United States. Most people are doing like traditional public school. Some people are doing private school. And some people are deciding to just not do either one of those alternatives and just to educate their children at home, okay? And then here, the child that educated at home is usually is instructed by the parents or maybe a guardian or maybe other tutors, because I know there's other homeschool groups that comes together as a group, and then maybe somebody might be good in English, or maybe somebody might be good in science or math or whatever, and then they go within themselves and then educate, bring your child, and you do it as a group. Okay, so there's a lot of ways that you can do it. And here then we have another legal defense group, and it's the Homeschool Legal Defense Association. Is a nonprofit organization that help homeschool parents, dealing with the restriction or requirements for different states. And this is a nationwide, but right now it's about over 15 states or so use this service. I'm a part of this service as well as, so the abbreviation will be HSLDA, okay? And then if we continue about the survey, they're stating that within the survey, there's more white there's more white students are more likely to be homeschooled than an African American child or a Hispanic child. And then there's children in two parents family that maybe one parent is at home and then one parent is as working in workforce will be more likely to homeschool their kids. And then children from a family with an annual home income between 75,000 were more likely to homeschool their children than family who earn more per year. Okay, so the participation was also higher amongst the family with at least one parent who earned a college degree. So these are it's just a survey that based on what they're finding, that these parents are more likely to homeschool their children. And if you for me, when I looked around within the homeschool groups, because I've been in it for over 20 years now, and yes, it is true, mainly it's more Caucasian families are more likely to homeschool their kid compared to a black family or Hispanic family. Now I see a little bit more maybe Asian community are coming in, a little bit more Hispanic, but not so much. I mean, from the circles that I belong to. So the article is right on point. And then let's see here. And then there's academic achievement. So based on the survey, it's also stated that being homeschooled or being in a public or private school, the children are learning just as well within those within the homeschool environment, and if you test them, their test score is just as high as if someone was in the public or in the private, and sometimes it's even higher within the homeschool arena. And then also for somebody might say, well, I might not want to do this because, okay, what about college? What about college? Well, I mean, some parents, I have seen some parents that educate their kids from maybe first to sixth grade, and then they put them in junior high. And then we have some people that do it all the way up to junior high and then put them into high school, take them to high school because they're not quite sure if they can do the high school work for the child. The parent might not be able to do that. So it's based on the family or what is best for you as within your family, right? And then I also know that there is some single parent that can homeschool. It's just that they most of them do it in the evenings or at nighttime, but there are still options, that you can do single parents, because some people might say, I'm a single, so how can I do this? So when we're preparing them for college, you can do, there's different ways you can do it. Some people go online and put them through an online school, or some people do independent study, or some people, so based on what you are looking for within your homeschool, I don't call my home a school. My home is a home educate. I don't homeschool. I hope that makes sense. My home is not a school, so I don't have it set up like a school environment. I hope that makes sense. I'm just a home educator. So, or whatever topic that we decided to deal with for the day, based on how the child is feeling or based on how I'm feeling, because sometimes you can be push, and then your mind is not geared to do that today, or maybe the child might be sick and not really having a bad day. We all have bad days, so when we're having bad days, I just decided not to do it. So we might find some other educational stuff to watch on TV or something like that. So there's different ways of doing your homeschooling if you are thinking about it. There's different books that you can buy to help you along the path. But let me warn you, do not, if you're just starting out, do not go and buy all those books and this book. Because I did that when I first started out, and you know what? Half those books I bought, I did not even use them. It was no need to use them. I could have just went to the library, I got the books that I need, returned the books, or within within some of the homeschool groups, some people exchange books, or one family is finished with a book, they pass it on to another family, and so have you. So there's a way that you can save instead of buying all these different books and curriculum. It's not necessary when you're first starting out. So just go to the class, figure out what it is that you want for your child as a family, and then based on that, then you start buying. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Because sometimes we spend so much money within being a home educator that is not necessary. It's not necessary. So here is the financial impact of homeschooling. So according to this, the number growing of students being educated at home affects the public system. Of course, that's going to happen, right? So homeschooling saves taxpayer resources that would otherwise been spending educating homeschooled children, because most of the time homeschooled children, the money is coming out of their parents' pocket. It's not something that the public system give us money to educate our kids at home. That's not the case. And so it says here, the public education is financed too complex, to the funding, and they have like a formula system that they go through. It got the federal system, they got the state, and they got the local tax. I know I home educate my child, and I know I still pay taxes for the schools around my area. So, and it also states here that for a person that homeschool their child, save the system almost over $4,934, and that this survey was 2002-2003 school year. Okay, so that right now it's much more than that. So I'm thinking that we probably saved them over 5,000. 6,000 for the year by just home educating our kids. So, there's different ways that you can do it. It's just based on what you want for your parents. But here's another place somebody might say, well, so where can I find these books, or where can I go? So parents can find and purchase their curriculum materials through online exchanges on other networks. Okay, so you got like websites, you got blogs, you got books. You got homeschool curriculum. You got online service. You can either do it yourself or have them to do the grading for you. There's all different ways. It's a wide variety of ways based on what you want to teach, based on what your family needs are, okay, that you can do, that you can find different ways of saving money too. I remember when I was a part of a homeschool group in Los Angeles, California, what we did, we got together once a month, and then we did different topics that they break the kids in different groups. So they might have different topics, or they might have one of the older child teach the younger children, and based on maybe a science or maybe a math or what they've learned. Maybe they went to a class, what they've learned. And then you got the parents might went to a workshop, come back and share with you what they have learned. And then this particular group that I belong to in LA, what they did, they brought in a facilitator once every quarter to come and talk to the parents. So like on Friday night, we had like 2 hours worth of training or talk. She has a topic, and it's usually history, about the history event, how you relate the history with the Bible and different things like that, and what God's view for our homes, what God views for the home. And so she came out and she talked about that. And then we had field trips that we did once a month. Then we had pictures that we took. So it was the same thing as if you went to the public schools. You did the pictures, right? And then we also had the yearbook. Okay, within the group we also had a graduation ceremony that we did based on what graduation things the kids was graduating from. They got a time that they came and they show you the different projects that they did at home, and they shared it with the different groups. And then some of us parents, we went to a yearly workshops It was like a whole weekend workshops. The mom and dad went to workshops. So it was based on if that's what you wanted to do. I mean, it was not mandatory. It was just something that we, especially since I was just getting started, it was something that my husband and I, we just did for a couple of years. And then when we moved to Fresno County, I mean, we didn't no longer did that part, but we were still a part of the group in LA because I used to drive down every quarter. But now here in Fresno County, I found other groups that I was a part of. You got the monthly meetings. So it's based on where you are, what you're looking for. Some groups have different requirements that you have to be at the meetings. Some groups don't have no meetings. Some groups maybe meet once a quarter. So it's based on the group and what you want. Maybe one of those parents that wants to be sociable with other parents. So it's based on whatever you want. Okay, so it goes on to say, I just talked about different groups that you can join. And then let's see here. That was just my experience. I was just relaying my experience with being a home educator. So you might say, okay, well, how do I begin being maybe I don't know, but I'm saying just go do the research within your area. There's a lot of groups that you can be a part of or do the research. Because I remember, I mean, I've been on both sides of the coin. I was with my 3 sons. I was had them in private school for one time. Then I took them out, put them in the public system. That was a mistake. Then from there, I had to take them back out. That was like in the 90s. I took them back out and put them in independent study. Independent study was a program, it was still connected to the public system. However, it was like maybe once every other week they went to class. They had the books, they did the work, took it back to the teachers, and then the teachers grade the projects or whatever have you, and then they graduated them from out of, with their high school degree from out of that independent studies. So that's what I did with my 2 last boys. And then like I said, they're 14 from my youngest boy to my oldest daughter is like 14 years apart. So then this is like my second generation. So with the second generation, praise God, with the second generation, what my husband and I decided to do, my daughter was 5, and I was waiting for her to get 5 so I could put her in kindergarten. However, I remember when I was pregnant, I did everything herbal. Went the herbal way. We had a midwife. I had my daughter, both of them at home. And so when it got to that point to put her into school, we didn't see we didn't see that we should do that because of all the other stuff that we had prepared ourselves to have this child and to put her into that system. We didn't feel as though it would have been right. So we sacrificed, and then we talked about it, and he decided that I should stay home we only had the one at the time, stayed home and educate that one child. And so then the Lord blessed me with my other daughter. And so for my older daughter, so I went from 14 and then 5 and then a newborn baby. So that was my journey. And so with the two girls, we decided, my daughter was 18 months, and we decided to move up into the country. And then, so now it was a different experience. So life is like, it's a journey. So I've been on both coins. I've been married, been single, been married. So, and then I had them in private school, public school. And then with my daughters, I did the whole homeschool. So my daughter is 21. She went all the way to homeschool, home educated. And then she went her last year of high school, I put her in junior college. And then she finished junior college. And then now she's working full-time, and she's working on her bachelor. So it's based on what the child wants at that time as well. So when you at home working with your child, you can see immediately what their gifts are, their talents, gifts and abilities are, and then you can go ahead at that point and then find people that will help them in those different areas, okay, to bring out their gifts for them to get stronger. I do not advise you to work on your child if they have a weakness, because why spend money in that weakness? They're not going to be strong in that area. So we did not spend money in the weak area. We picked the strong area and spend more money into those areas. I hope that makes sense. So then now, like right now, I'm sitting here waiting on my daughter. She has a tutoring class, and then from this point I'm going to take her to a choir. The choir consists of maybe about 80 homeschool parents, homeschool kids, and then they have this like a 3 months program, and then after this, then I think this next month, April, they will have this big concert at this at People's Church right here in Fresno. And so we've been doing this for about maybe over 3 years now. And so it's like every, I guess every 3 months, and then they get like a summer break. And then they pick it back up, I think like August. So it's also based on what you want. They got instrument, they got whatever, they got gymnastic, they got sign language, whatever, they got different, flutes or whatever it is that your child might want to do. They all have it within the homeschool groups. So you just have to find the one that is best for you and your family, best based for whatever it is that your child wants to do. Okay, I know they also have the ones that you could take a photography class. My daughter did, I think, like two semesters. So then, like I said, based on what you want for you and your family, you guys just have to decide that. But I'm saying, if you're just starting out as a homeschool parent, okay, like I'm saying, don't go and buy all them books. It's no need for that. Start off going to the class, or the group that you want to belong to. Some of those mothers has books that they can pass on to you that they no longer have no need for. So don't go out there and spend all that money and like I did. Okay, so that will save you some time. Hey Lisa, hey girl, hey Mike. So just remember that, ladies and gentlemen, homeschooling is for me, it's a calling. It's a calling that God placed on different individuals' heart to be able to home educate their children. But I believe that home educating is not for the child per se, it's for the parents, because the Lord is retraining you to serve Him. I hope that makes sense. So it's been a joy. It's also a challenge. It has rewards, and it has rewards. But then, like I said, you have to do a lot of soul searching. And when you look at your child, and it's like, oh, I see myself. So it's a lot of prayer. It's like make you a very humble person by being able to home educate your child. So then if we look at Psalms 127, verses 3 to 5, it says, children are an inheritance from the Lord, offspring a reward from Him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Okay. And then here's another one on Deuteronomy 11:19. It says, teach them to your children. Talk about them when you sit down at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. So being a home educator allow us to show your children Jesus, demonstrating Jesus. You're the example, but then everything you do, you can show them the love of Jesus. With every topic that you share with, you could pray with them first and then allow them to see Jesus within their learning. I hope that makes sense. So my sister, my brother, I hope that you have enjoyed this video as much as I've enjoyed making it for you. And if you want to dive deeper, want more information on maybe being a homeschool mom, or maybe maybe you got questions that I have not covered, feel free to give me a call. My number is all over Facebook, and you got my email address is there as well. So with that, hope you guys have a super awesome day, and take care until tomorrow. Talk to you guys soon.